have your attention, please? 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Welcome.
They're here.
Rise, my nation. Gather around and prepare. Our pride will be restored. Our shadow will fall with wicked damnation. Rise, my nation. Rise. This is your nation. This is our nation. This is the Raider Nation. Can you dig it?
What it is, Raider Nation, what it is. Happy hump day, man. Don't get nothing on your leg. You feel me? Hey, welcome to another episode of the Lunatic Raider Show, man. With yours truly, Lunatic Raider, right here on Raiders Allegiance, man. Hey, we're going to talk about it, man. We're going to talk about it. That number one pick just became more valuable than ever. Why? We're going to get into it. We're going to get into it. We're going to talk about what Brady is focusing on as far as the head coaching position. We got a possible head coaching candidate. I don't know if the Raiders are interested, but we shall soon see. If so, there's names attached to this man that he could bring with him to the Raiders. We're going to talk about that as well. And then we're just going to talk about anything else that pops up in the world of Raiderism. You feel me? So with that being said, man, welcome. Shout out to the world's most dangerous chat. Appreciate y'all for being here, man. We got Raider B. Al in the building, man. What it is, man. Salute to you. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Who else? We got S.A. Big Dog in the building, setting it off.
I'm out of time. There you go.
Ex-Raider head coach, Bobblehead Pete. You know what I mean? We got Eagle Tyrion 207 in the building, man. Salute to you. Hope all is well. Who else we got up in the building? I know who we got.
My name is D-Nice. My name is D-Nice.
D-Nice in the building. Hey, D-Nice, let me ask you this. Are you going to Pittsburgh for the draft, bro? Because me and Peaches is planning on it, bro. We gonna shoot out to we shooting out to Pittsburgh. Yes, indeed, for the number one overall pick at the draft. We about to get litty in they city. You know what I mean? Black and yellow my ass, silver and black. You feel me? But yeah, man, I've been seeing people talking about going out there for the draft. Why not? I've never been to Pittsburgh, and they never had me. So I'm going to go out there and fuck they food up. If I was single, I'll fuck they bitches up. But I'm not doing that. Peaches going to come out there, and I'm good. But we talking about it. It looks like it's gonna be a real deal, Holyfield. The tickets ain't that bad, man, and the hotel rooms really ain't either. I heard it's on North Shore is where they're gonna have the whole event, which I know the draft is always a free event to attend. But the area, I'm like I said, I've never been there, but I'll tiptoe through anybody's neighborhood. You feel me? But yeah, man, I'm thinking about doing it. I know y'all be traveling, going to the games and shit. I was just wondering if the draft is gonna be cracking like that in Pittsburgh. If so, I'm gonna have to bring my ass out there, man, and do the two-step on their ass one time. You feel me? Eagle Tyrion in the building, man. He dropping again. I gotta do this one when they drop the Raiders. I gotta.
I'm out of time. There you go.
You already know what it is. Bobblehead Pete in the building, man. Salute. My 2 cents in the building, man. Salute to you, my brother. Hope all is well. We up in here this morning. Yes, indeed. See who else we got up in this VIH, man. I gotta catch up, man. Y'all be ahead before the damn thing start. You feel me? Let me see. Kill, die, kill again in the building, man. Salute. We up in the building this morning, man. We doing our thizzle, man. We doing our thug thizzle. Alec M in the building, man. He following it up with that good shit.
I'm out of time. There you go.
indeed. Mickey Ficky Mokes in the building, man. What it is, my brother. Hope all is well. He said Mendoza MVP. Hey, like we're gonna talk about that #1 pick, boy, because the value on that shit just shot up like Bitcoin. You feel me? That shit shot up like Bitcoin. Let's go, man. Who else we got up in the building, man? Graham Cam, what it is, my brother. Hope all is well. Salute to you. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed, man. Who else we got up in here? Raider Fontaine in the building, man. What it is? Good to see you, man. Hey, we got some OGs up in this BIH, man. Yes, indeed. Who else we got up in here? J-Ro. What it is, man. Salute to you as well, my guy. Hope all is well. Thank you for pulling up. Willie Gray in the building, man. What it is, man. What's good with you? Man, everything's solid on this end, man. You know what I mean? Just staying afloat, waiting for the dominoes to drop. You feel me? Waiting for the head coach and who that head coach brings in at DC and OC, and then we got free agency. What do we fix the offensive line in the free agency? You know what I mean, Market? I believe so. And in other aspects of the whole game, and then when we get to April, we the focal point. I mean, I hate to be at the bottom in the season, but top in the draft. But it is what it is, and what we do, hey, we gonna do it well, man. Hopefully they make the right pick and get the guy up in here, unless they got something up their sleeve. I don't know what the Raiders got planned, but you better keep your eyes open and your ear to the ground, because that shit's going down for real. Who else we got up in the building, man? Alfredo the boss with the sauce. Man, what it do, man? It's all good, man.
There you go. There you go.
We in here today. Showcase Rule in the building, man. What it is, my brother. Hope all is well with you.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah, we active this morning, man, or this afternoon. SoCal Sal in the building, man. What it is. Yes, indeed. Who else we got up in the building, man? What we got up in the building? I'm trying to catch everybody up in the building, y'all. Yeah, man, I think we're going to be bringing back the Dirty Lunatic show. Dirty got at me. Hey, it's overdue. I've been spread so thin, though. I got a lot of shit going on business-wise. Once everything is all settled and done and complete, I'll give you the rundown of how things is going to go. This channel will be affected by it, not in a negative way, very positive. But everything is going to become business. Legitimate business under my LLC. So with that being said, man, once I get to that point and get you guys all caught up on what's going on, which is going to bring more stuff to this channel, it's going down. And there's going to be new channels as well. Let me emphasize that there will be new channels joining the Raider circus. You feel me? No clowns, just little midgets in a motherfucking Volkswagen Bug, like about 50 of them jumping out. You know what I mean? All stuffed in the one car. Yes, indeed. SoCal Sal, you already know, man. We dropping them things on them. I might go take
There you go. There you go.
I think I might go take me another shot because I'm feeling it. It's my Friday, so bear with me, y'all. Hey, we gonna do this. We gonna do this thing. Let me go give me a shotter. A shotter, you feel me? A shotter. And I shall return shortly, my people. In the meantime, we're gonna slap this shit. I'll let y'all slap this while I'm and I shall return shortly, y'all. In like less than a minute, I'll be back.
Yeah, we run a conversation. Silver and Black Talk got the whole nation waiting. Weekdays live, and you know how we go. This the Lunatic Raider show. Tap in, we stay mobbing. Update the squad, break the news when it drops. Rumors, headlines, yeah, we covered a lot. 3 p.m. West, 6 p.m. East, we on go. This the Lunatic Raider show. Raider Nation, let's roll. Pull up on the stream, yeah, the nation in the room. Silver and Black on my back like a full moon. Breaking news hit. We don't wait, we react. I'm the voice of the nation, put the truth on the map. From the locker room leaks
back,
to the
baby,
rumors in the wind. If it's Raiders allegiance, then you know it's locked in. Monday through Friday, yeah, we cracking it live. Raider fans worldwide, all tapping in the vibe. Top your cars, Lunatic.
All right, so we're gonna talk about why is the draft pick #1 overall that much more valuable. All right, we're gonna get into it. For those that don't know, that's been under a rock, Well, now I can't even say that because the news just came out. And I knew this was gonna happen because it just made all the perfect sense because he's a youngster. Dante Moore is returning to Oregon for the 2026 season. He's returning back to Oregon, so the Jets don't have a number 2 quarterback to draft. If they do draft the quarterback number 2, that ain't Mendoza. If we take Mendoza, it will be a reach because there's no other quarterback in this draft because everybody else went back to school, and this is the third case. So you got Arch Manning returning back to Texas. You got Lenore Sellers going back. Where Lenore Sellers? South Carolina. Now you got Dante Moore going back to Oregon. So this year's draft, those are names that were supposed to come out this year. But like I said, NIL done changed the whole dynamics of college football because now these guys are getting big paychecks for their name, image, and likeness. That's what NIL stand for. So I know Nike was not going to let Dante Moore get away. They were going to give him one. I don't know how much. Matter of fact, let me see if they even post that shit. But I heard it was a whole dump truck full of money. A whole dump truck full of money to get Dante Moore to go back to Oregon. And he's only 20 years of age. I heard on Dirty's podcast last night they were talking about if you draft Mendoza, a lot of people saying you sit Mendoza. No, you don't. He's got more experience than the average college student. He has way more experience than Dante Moore. Let's keep it in perspective. This kid has been at Berkeley before he transferred to Indiana. He's like 23, if I believe. I think this was his 6th year. Let me see. How many years of college football has Mendoza played in his career? Okay, because he redshirted 1 year. So it would be 5, but he only played 4 years, but he had 5 with the red shirt that he sat out. But you figure Dante Moore at 20 years old, UCLA at 17, started 5 games. Then he transferred to Oregon at 18, sat behind Dylan Gabriel, was 19 with his first start, became 20, turned 20 in May. He won't be 21 until May again this year. So he's young. That's a good. Now, if he would have came out this year, any team drafted him, like I said, you sit him. You sit him and you groom him. Not the Drake type of grooming, but the but the kind of groom that you do for a player to develop him when he's real young and green. But even at his age, at 20, he put up spectacular numbers. Even against Indiana, he had over 200 yards passing, 2 touchdowns, and 1 interception, which was that pick 6 at the beginning of the game. So at 20 years old, he chose to go back, which that was the right thing to do. He doesn't even have to come out next year. That's the crazy thing. But it's going to be a very deep class at quarterback next year. Facts. This year, boo-boo. Mendoza, and that's it. After Mendoza, there ain't nobody else you're going to get excited about. Now, I'm not saying that none of these guys will surprise people and develop into a quarterback that caught people by surprise. Like, oh, shit, we drafted him in the 3rd round. He's in the playoffs. It could happen. It always could happen. But as far as looking at the surface of everything, Mendoza is the GOAT of the draft at the quarterback position, and behind them there is none from what we see on paper. But once they get into the game with the right team and the right system, all that changes. Okay, so now the number 1 pick becomes this. Now the Jets at number 2 can't sit there and be like, well, if we don't get Mendoza, we just take Moore. That's out the window. So now the value of I ain't going to even say the number 1 pick, but it is the pick because the pick would be Mendoza. Now the value of Mendoza then shot up. Fernando Mendoza's value then shot up tremendously. Now the Jets, if they really, really, really want Mendoza, they're going to give a shitload of picks. And I don't know what player on their team you would want, but I mean, they got plenty of picks. They got 3 first-rounders next year. I think they got 2 this year. Hold on, I got to remember again because I'll be thinking of Cleveland and the Jets. How many first-round picks do the New York Jets have in this year's draft as well as the 2027 draft?
New York Jets have 2 first-round picks in this year's draft, and they also have 3 first-round picks in the 2027 draft. These picks came from trades.
Okay, now here it is. The Jets have 2 first-round picks this year and 3 next year. If the Jets were to offer the Raiders 5 first-round picks, would you take it for the number 1 overall pick? Chat, let me see where you at. Bars. Chat, let me see where you at. If the New York Jets give you 5 first-round picks just to go from 2 to 1, would you do it? Or are you so enamored by Mendoza that is like, oh, and I hear people say he's generational. You don't know that shit, and he ain't showed you nothing like that. Even in the game like against Oregon, yes, they won the game. He was under 200 yards passing. He had 5 touchdowns, but that tells me the red zone is where they would, and the red zone is beautiful because we can't do shit in the red zone as the Raiders. So as Indiana was doing it, they got in the red zone and against Oregon and scored 5 touchdowns. Wasn't no big plays like that. They were under 2. Put it like this: Dante Moore threw for more yards than Mendoza did in that game, in the Peach Bowl. And we're talking about a 22-year-old versus a 20-year-old with more experience, with a more veteran team. That's not no knock on Mendoza, because when he gets to the NFL, guess what he's playing with? A more advanced team, a more a veteran team. When you get into the pros, you're going to go to the next level. But he's been playing with the next level at Indiana. They got 24 and 25-year-olds on that team. They have one of the best defenses in college football. But we have, in order to do the same thing that Indiana did, we got to do the same thing with the Raiders. We got to develop a defense that can keep the scoring minimum to give him a chance to win games. Mendoza is a day 1 starter in the NFL. Day 1. Ain't no doubt about it because of his experience. 3 years at Cal, 1 year at Indiana. That's 4 years of playing experience. Period. You know what I mean? Dante Moore had 2 years of playing experience compared to Mendoza's 4. So we see the difference, but yet the production. But one thing about Mendoza I like, his pass placement. He puts balls where the receiver can make a play on it. You know what I mean? That's why there's not a lot of drop balls. This comes through experience with repetition. You go through 4 years of college and you keep throwing and throwing. It's like it's like Steph Curry. You think Steph Curry was good at shooting threes by not shooting threes for practice? No, he practiced. Mendoza had practice. I like Mendoza. I like his mentality. Brady is his idol. Brady, they asked him if there's a living past or present player that you would love to have dinner with, who it would be. He said, I'm not going to talk about the past, that's the past or former or whatever. He said, I'm going to talk about now. He said, Tom Brady. Can you imagine Mendoza going into the same building that Tom Brady is? Now, there's people out there, and let me tell you about these damn media people. This is the thing I don't like. And I touched on this yesterday. They want to bring up, Brady needs to decide to either be an announcer or be fully immersed in the team. Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up with your dumb, silly looking asses. You in front of a fucking camera and you want to say some cute shit, but this ain't cute. This is the dumbest ass fucking take I ever heard. You telling a man he has to pick between 2 things that don't fall in the same fucking time frame as each other. Is that what you saying? Tom Brady got to give up being an announcer, and an announcer is benefiting us, you dumb fuck. He gets to interview the teams that he's announcing the game for, the coaches and the players. So you mean to tell me we're going to give up our inside scoop with someone that's picking the minds of the DC, the OC, the quarterback coach, the head coach, the special team? We're going to give up that just for him to come in the building during the season because that's the only time he's working for the network, is when the games are being played. But the most important thing to us right now is after all that. The off season is the very most important season to the Raider Nation. We gotta find a coach. Once we find that coach, he has to find his fucking crew. Then when March turns around after the Super Bowl in February, matter of fact, before we even get there, we got to go to the combine. When you go to the combine, you got to watch these young guys coming out of college, get your notes, and start developing your draft board. March comes after the Super Bowl in February. Now you got March, which is free agency. Which free agent targets are on your free agent target board? What position? How much money are you willing to spend? And do they come in and is a need for what we need for this team? Tom Brady does not work for the network. Well, I say he does work for the network, but there's no games to announce after the Super Bowl and before preseason. And this is when we need him. If we're going to use him and use his intellect and his knowledge and his opinions and ideas, this is the time to use him when there is no football being played. Combine, free agency, draft, mini camp, mandatory mini camp. That's when we need him. And that's when he's not working for the network. Y'all motherfuckers sound so fucking stupid. Oh, he needs to choose whether he wants to be in the building. Motherfucker, shut the fuck up. Because when he's doing the announcement, that's when Spy Tech is doing his thing. Out there finding out what teams is releasing players, who's up for trades during the season. Brady ain't got shit to do with contracts. We don't need him to sign a free agent. We don't need him to come up with a package to trade for a player. That's not what he's there for. He's there for to evaluate, use his drip. No, I ain't gonna say drip, not even drip. To you, what the kids call it, to use his riz. What's riz? It's short for charisma. Use his charisma and his knowledge and his relationships to go ahead and get guys that can come fit what we're trying to do. That's Brady. He's the salesman. And Spy Tech is the financer. You go out there and sell them some shit and I'll finance everything to make sure it comes to fruition. So Brady does not need to be in the building during the season. For what? What does he need to be there for? What, just to watch practice? I'm not even practice and get ready for the game that the network is going to have him announce, but not getting the inside intel for every fucking game Brady announces. He gets to talk to the coaches and the players. Well, how does that help us? I can see the coaches. What about the players? What if that player is on the trading block or does not want to return to the team that he's on? Now you know. You can know by interviewing him. Well, you know this motherfucking DC ain't shit. I've been out there, I got 6 interceptions, but this motherfucker still want to have me do some zoning defense, and I'm a fucking man-to-man. That's how I got all 6 of my interceptions, came in man-to-man. Oh, really? Oh, really? And then you got the coordinators, offensive coordinators, well, you know, number 14, he ain't really that great of a quarterback, or he might say he doesn't fit our system. You know what I mean? You might get some intel. You might not get the intel that the public gets. They're going to get the intel that the public don't hear. That's like inside information. It's like inside trading. And there's nothing they can do about it because it's the same conversation Brady would have with these guys that he would have if he was not even minority owner of the Raiders, period. It's the same conversation. It just so happens he can bring it to somebody that is useful for it. Everybody has information. And the media motherfuckers should know this shit because all the shit they leak out there is information somebody within the league then gave them. If they do have true inside information. There's a lot of motherfuckers claiming, well, my inside, motherfucker, cheerleader don't fucking count. The water boy don't count. He knows only the things on the surface. He knows the same shit that the other motherfuckers from ESPN and wherever else is going to report it. They going to know the same shit because probably that water boy done told that cheerleader who told that referee that told that, you know what I mean? motherfuckers pillow talking in the NFL. That's with any business. If you laying with the motherfucker, you're gonna get information. That's what it is. We leave Brady what he's doing. It's helping us. It's gonna help us in the long run. We know what coaches or coordinators that ain't nobody talking about that is the next man up. Nobody knew about John Gruden until Al Davis went and got him. Nobody knew who the fuck is John Gruden. But Al Davis knew. He knew because why? Al Davis was one of them football dudes that he was in everybody's business. And you have to be in everybody's business to have the information you need to upbuild your situation. Oh, so this motherfucker is he's the next one in line. I gotta grab him before anybody else do. And there's some times he struck out, Lane Kiffin. You know what I mean? There's some times where we struck out. But you can't be scared to take a swing. Ain't nothing like going down on strikes and not swinging at the fucking ball. You gotta swing, whether you hit or miss. Only a coward is gonna sit there and get struck out. You gotta take a chance. And that's what that's why Al Davis was the Maverick. Because he went out there and did what he wanted to do. He took the liberty of taking chances on people that nobody even heard of. Nobody. And sometimes it works, sometimes it don't. But when it works, it takes you to the pinnacle of everything that you believe in. John Gruden had this team built for the motherfucking Super Bowl. For 3 years, we were Super Bowl contenders under Gruden until we traded him away, and then we felt his wrath. You know what I mean? We felt his wrath because he designed the shit we ran against him. Who does that? Shout out to Callahan, weak ass. Hey, who does that? Run the same offense that the motherfucker you traded to the team you're facing in the Super Bowl created and thinking, I'm going to outdo him. We see how that shit worked. 3 pick sixes in the Super Bowl. But it is what it is. That's back draft shit. But now we're on bigger and better things. The Raiders have opportunity to do some great shit. And you need people like Brady. Why? He's from the football side. He's from the aspect that John Spytek never played pro football. He played for a little bit at Michigan at, what was he, tight end in college, but he never professional level, but he's been groomed. Not the Drake groomed, but he's been groomed by the NFL to be the GM that he is. And I see promise in this guy. This guy made some damn good draft picks, but nobody got to see the shit until the end of the season. What does Porter look like after being a very green cornerback coming out of college into the pros? You see the development. What about J.J. Pegues? Tonka Hemingway. How does he look with 4 sacks on the season? And he wasn't even a starter. 4 sacks. And I'm not talking about weed. I'm talking about tackling the quarterback. You know what I mean? How did Caleb Rogers look? Oh, people was like, oh, yeah, he got Charles Grant. Go look at his film when he started when he had to. Look at their film. Tell me, did they look like, okay, we got something here? That was all Spytek. Genty still had over 1,300 from scrimmage. And they say, oh, he had an extra game. But you got to remember, when he came out the gate, he had games when he had 9 carries, 8 carries. You ain't bringing that into the equation. You bring up the extra game. Well, there's 17 and not 16. Well, let's talk about the first 4 games only being worth 2 games of carries. Then when they start giving them ball, the yards after contact was leading all rookie running backs in the league. All of them. What happens when he gets an offensive line that keeps the contact away until he passes the line of scrimmage? There's more to gain after the first contact when you get past the line of scrimmage. He's the most contacted running back behind the line of scrimmage in football, rookies in football. Derrick Henry is the first. But there's a reason for that, because he's a big dude. In order to stop a big dude, you got to get him before he gets started. And that's in the backfield. And he still couldn't stop him. And we're talking about Genty, who ain't 250 fucking pounds. Henry is built like a linebacker. Genty is built like a halfback. It is what it is. I didn't make this shit up. He's built like a halfback. So the Raiders got to go into this season, this all season, leave everything alone. Leave well enough alone. That's all. Leave well enough alone. Don't overdo it. Don't be tweaking shit that don't need to be tweaked. We seen them do that shit with the offensive line this year. You making JPJ compete with Meredith for the center position. Leave well enough. JPJ was fine at center. Leave that shit alone. Stop trying to tweak shit when it don't need to be. Leave it alone before you fuck it off. You're going to add too much nutmeg to your motherfucking pie. You know what I mean? And it's now it don't taste as good as it's supposed to. You doing too much. That's why Pete is gone. That's why Chip is gone. They were doing too much with that offensive line. I heard Chip Kelly had a lot of influence on, I like athletic offensive linemen. That's why we're good. I heard he the reason why JPJ is not at center. Because Meredith was more athletic. Does that pan out to him being better than JPJ because he can jump higher and run fast? Ain't that what Hayward Bay was? An athletic freak? Wasn't Hayward Bay? He could run fast and was big and physical, but the motherfucker couldn't catch a fucking cold. He couldn't catch gonorrhea without a condom on the motherfucking red light district of Europe. Couldn't catch the clap. Couldn't catch herpes. You know what I mean? Couldn't catch shit. Couldn't catch shit if he held both hands under his ass while on the toilet. Couldn't catch shit. But he's a specimen. I'll give you another name. A lot of y'all, some of y'all may not remember him, but I'm gonna tell you another physical specimen that was athletic. Bruce Campbell, offensive lineman the Raiders drafted. Never ran fast, jumped high, workout warrior, benching, fucking apartment complexes. Where he ended up at? The Canadian Football League. I'm just saying. We spent a high draft. What was it? Let me see. I'm gonna give y'all the facts. What round did the Raiders draft offensive lineman Bruce Campbell?
The Raiders drafted Bruce Campbell in the 4th round, which was the 106th overall pick in the 2010 NFL Draft. He played college football at the University of Maryland.
So it was a 4th round pick. That's the same round we got Max Crosby. This was a freak. We went out there and drafted him, and the only freak I could think of was the kind of freak that fucked everybody in high school. He got fucked. You know what I mean? We got fucked. Let's just say the Raiders got fucked drafting, using a 4th round pick on Bruce Campbell, who did not pan out for shit. But he ran fast. He was on what the ESPN Science something. They used him as far as his. They was breaking him down physically. Like, he's a specimen. He's a workout warrior. Yeah, but he couldn't fucking block. It is what it is. Shout out to everybody in the chat, man. Let me see where we at right now. Hold on. Let me catch up. Let me catch up to y'all, man. Black and Grayed out in the building, man. Salute to you. Salute, man. Appreciate you for pulling up. Hold on. I got to catch up, man. I'll be behind. Let me see. Graham Cam in the building. SoCal. Let me see. All right. Hey, D Nice. I'll keep you posted. Yeah, but we planning on doing this. We plan on doing this. I might not stay the whole day on that Saturday for day 3, but first day 1 and 2, we're gonna do the damn thing, and then we might have to shoot back on that Saturday. Which, if I shoot back early enough. Well, no, because the draft probably be like 8 in the morning, 7 in the morning on Saturday, the day 3. But that's when all the rounds jump. You know what? I'll make it back in time for something. Hop that plane and head back to Vegas. But yeah, man, I keep you posted. I keep you posted for sure. We're gonna get out there and do our damn thing. You feel me? Sacktown Raider Mike, man, what it do, man? I hope all is well with you, my brother. Appreciate you for pulling up. Yes, indeed. At the very least, 2 first and trading 1st and 2nd picks, the Jets. No, I want all of it. If you got an erection for Mendoza, pause. Well, damn, that even if you pause it, that don't even be unpausable. Damn, to say you got a hard on for another man. Shout out to the alphabet people out there. This ain't no disrespect, but I just want to keep it where I don't mix hard-ons with men. That's all I'm doing. Hey, super pause on that shit. Let me rewind. To everybody out there who's drooling over Mendoza, that don't sound any better. If you drooling over Mendoza, I don't know, you think you sexy or you know what I mean? You like his smile or whatever. Oh shit. How can I get around this? Hold on, I'm gonna figure it out. Let's see. For all those who look forward to Mendoza being the #1 overall pick and don't want to trade him, I'm telling you, if the Jets is really the unasked that shoot, damn, that's another term. For those that don't know, I'm gonna tell y'all, and I ain't gonna say it. I ain't gonna say it for this. When somebody unasked their shoot, we're talking about the Duke shoot. Duke being short for Dookie. So we're talking about your ass hole. So when you unass your asshole, that means you're giving up your rectum to somebody's defense. What you mean by defense? You know, defense in football, they want penetration, right? I'm pause on that shit. Okay, let's get to it. The real deal, Holyfield. That #1 pick, if the Jets want to give, they got 5 first-round picks in the next 2 drafts. We'll be nice to them. But see, here's the whole thing. Even though they got 5 picks, we won't really get 5 picks. All we will really be doing is one of them will be going from 1 to 2. They will get Mendoza, and then we got that pick at 2, as well as their other. So we would have, for trading back from 1 to 2, we will have 2. What was they? Let me see. What is the 2026 NFL draft order?
The Raiders currently hold the #1 pick in the
We know that,
2026
bitch. You ain't got to
NFL
rub it
draft,
in.
followed by the Jets
Okay.
and Cardinals.
So the Jets at #2.
Including teams
We're
like
at
the
#1.
Giants, and
We would
Browns.
swap if we want to give them #1 and they really want it because they don't want another team to jump them to get us. Because if we putting it up for sale, and we got to act like we ain't really impressed with, Mendoza. You got to act like that to make teams really get thirsty. Like, ooh, the pick, ooh, we can get Mendoza. And even if the Jets had Moses as quarterback, they still wouldn't do shit. So it don't matter if the Jets get Mendoza. Mendoza probably demand a trade after 3 years. Get me out of here. So you swap with the Jets. So the Jets would go to 1, we would go to 2. So we get their second pick, as well as all in the first round. Give me the 2026 NFL draft order. You bitch. I heard that. You light-skinned, blind son of a bitch. Fuck you. Bitch, that's why you AI. You should be an AS, not AI. What you mean I gotta be an AS? You gotta be art. You ain't shit. That's what you gotta be. You ain't shit. All right, so let's see. Their second pick will be at pick number. Let's go. New York Jets at 19 or 16. You would, if you traded with Indy and you get all 3 of their picks next year. Just say this is what they want to do for Mendoza. Give us 3 first-round picks next year and give us the 2 this year. Those 2 would be 2nd and 16. Tell me what you can do with 2nd and 16 in this year's draft. And then whatever the top quarterback is in next year's draft, you got 4 picks. Why I say 4? Because they got 3 and we'll have our own. That's why it's 4. So it'll be 4 first-round picks next in the 2027 draft when everybody's coming out. Dante Moore's coming out. Sellers is coming out. Arch Manning is coming out. You see what I'm getting to? So you will be the only one in that draft with that many first-round picks and do your thizzle. Now, there's quarterbacks still in this draft, like I said. They might not be on paper, be like, ooh, but they will develop into something to make you go, ooh. You know what I mean? There are quarterbacks that will slide underneath the people's radar because everybody's focused on Mendoza and not looking at anything else, well, us as fans, that's at least we know the front offices of these teams are doing their due diligence. But there's going to be a couple of more quarterbacks in this draft that's going to pan out, guaranteed. You got to know who they are, though. You got to know who they are. You got like Taylor Green out of Arkansas. Taylor Green, I told y'all, was the quarterback at Boise State back in 2023 when Genty led the nation at the running back position in receiving with over 600 yards receiving. Not just that. That's not it. His total package that year, watch this shit. These numbers, that's a more impressive stat to me of that year with Genty than it is with him having almost breaking the rushing record, because he was very balanced at a very high degree. I'm gonna tell you his numbers straight up. What was Ashton Genty's stats at Boise State in 2023?
In 2023, Ashton Genty had a great season at Boise State. He rushed for 1,347 yards and 14 touchdowns, while also adding 569 receiving yards and 5 receiving touchdowns. This resulted in 1,916 all-purpose yards and 19 total touchdowns in 12 games, making him a key player.
He had 1,900 yards total offense, rushing and receiving. 14 yards rushing, 14 touchdowns rushing, and 5 touchdowns receiving. Almost 600 yards receiving alone. Who was his quarterback? Taylor Green. That was Taylor Green, and Taylor Green left that year and went to Arkansas. Now Taylor Green is in this draft. That was the quarterback getting Genty the ball. And it wasn't no little screen passes. They were making all kind of passes. And let me tell you about Taylor Green. Now, he's not a first, second, or third. I think about a fourth rounder. Since you got multiple fourths, you use one on Taylor Green if he's there. If you trade the number 1 pick. That's what let me tell you Taylor Green. Taylor Green quarterback Wikipedia. Let me tell you what Taylor Green. Now, like we're looking at Mendoza. Mendoza 6'5", 225? Nice big physical cornerback, right? Taylor Green is 6'6", 224. Here's the kicker, though. 6'6", taller than Mendoza, and 224, about the same weight. What is Taylor Green's 40 time?
The 40-yard dash time for Taylor Green, the Arkansas quarterback, is reported to be around 4.44 seconds. This speed is considered impressive.
He runs a 4.4440. Taylor Green runs a 4.4440 at 6'6", 224 pounds. Mendoza had a better team than Taylor Green did. But Taylor Green, his stock is like around 4th rounder due to the fact of let me see what else they were saying. What round is Taylor Green projected to be drafted in this year's draft?
Taylor Green is projected as a mid to late day 2 draft pick, which is typically rounds 2 or 3 in the upcoming 2026 NFL draft. Some scouts see him as having the potential to be a high-level backup or starter, although he needs to improve his consistency.
So consistency is his knock. He's expected to be about a 2nd or 3rd round pick. At 6'6", 224, runs a 4.4440. Now, if you have a good offensive coordinator and quarterback coach that can develop him, consistency is just repetition. You got to keep, you know what I mean? It's like Steph Curry is accurate at 3-point shooting because he shoots 3-pointers for reps. Taylor Green got to do the same thing. But here's the thing. This is the one thing that I tell people. And it's the same thing that happened with, who's our quarterback that we got in the compensatory draft from Ohio State? It's on the tip of my tongue. And he ran that 90-something yard touchdown. Was against Pittsburgh, huh? It's right there. Chad, help me out. Help an old brother out. Fuck. See, now I gotta look it up. I hate looking it up because I be trying to exercise my brain. Who was the quarterback from Ohio State that the Raiders had?
The Raiders had Terrell Pryor.
Terrell Pryor.
quarterback from Ohio.
Now, let me tell you why it happens to these athletic quarterbacks for them not developing in the throwing game. They get to a program where they get enamored and awed by the fact that, like, imagine Taylor Green, 6'6", 224, can run a 4.4, 440. What kind of offense do you think that coach is going to run utilizing his strengths? It's going to be a lot of options and RPOs and shit. Because we can use his legs to really hurt teams. He's damn near faster than anybody on that defense. So if that's the case, we're going to do an offense where we're going to utilize his running skills a lot, which it takes away from him developing as a thrower in the pocket. So if you get a good quarterback coach and offensive coordinator to develop a quarterback skill set by giving him the repetitions of throwing, and more throwing, he can develop. But if it's the case of your gift is your curse. When you're good at something, they're going to milk you for it. He's good at running and being a big physical quarterback, but that can run. We're going to utilize them legs. So now we're taking away from his development at throwing and splitting it. Like I said, you can only give one thing 100% of your attention. You only can there's no such thing as giving 100% to two things at once. You can't, because you're split down the middle, or I can give this 80 and give this 20, 70, 30, 60, 40, but I can never give it 100 and 100. The math it doesn't work like that in life. So if I'm spending my time splitting 50% of my time to being a passer and 50% of the time of utilizing my legs in an offense that's caused for me to be a dual threat, guess what's going to be hurt? I've been running since I can walk. I ain't been throwing a football until I started playing football. So, of course, my running ability is more advanced because reps as a youth growing up running. I may have ran track. I may have ran from the police. I may have ran from that broad that said she was pregnant. But I ran. But I never threw the police. I never threw in track. I never threw the chick over the fence that said I was the baby daddy. So now you're more developed with your legs than you are in your passing. And that's what Terrell Pryor, when they asked him the question, well, when you were at Ohio State, why you didn't work on your throwing? He said, because that's not what they asked me to do. They never worked with me at Ohio State as far as throwing. He was so dynamic with his legs, it was like, shit, that's why he transcended from being a quarterback to being a fucking wide receiver for Cleveland. And did a decent job doing it. Just think if that was his calling. Be a wide receiver, Terrell. So Taylor Green is just somebody you got to work with, but I wouldn't spend a high pick on him. Hell no. But if Jets give me 5 picks, you seriously got to think about that, to giving them just to swap one spot back. You still going to get the best non-quarterback player in the draft if you want to. Plain and simple. Then that second one at 16 in the first round, the quarterback from Alabama, if you want to, you know what I mean? Shit, you playing with house money now. Or you go get you offensive linemen. Build that lineup so when I do hit the draft next year with the 4 first-round picks, I can get my quarterback and the offensive line will be ready for him with the draft this year. And I get a number one. I'll get an offensive lineman and a number 1 wide receiver in this draft. So whoever I draft next year with those picks to get a quarterback, he's going to come into a situation where he has the offensive line and he has a number 1 target, not just to mention Brock Bowers and Michael Mayer and Genty. I'll even go get Genty a running back. I like the running back from Penn State. I'll go get him. And now we got a tandem at running back. Defense in this draft, we're getting another defensive end. We got 2 defensive tackles in Begees and Hemingway, but now we can add a defensive end. We getting a linebacker. They got some good linebackers in this draft. Go get one of them. Find you a corner. Go get Reek Woolen from Seattle and pair him with Porter. They're identical. And Woolen can help Porter develop because Woolen is a man-to-man coverage cornerback at what is he, 6'4", and runs a 4.26 40, I think. Woolen runs. While Porter is 6'4" and runs a 4.3 flat. You'll have two of the biggest, most physical, fastest corners in the league. That's your bookends. So there's a lot of shit you can do, but I'm not saying do it. I'm like, if you really believe Mendoza is him, you don't second guess that shit. You pull the trigger. Matter of fact, you remember back in the day when you knew who your number one quarterback was gonna be before they had him slotted at whatever position they were drafted, as that's how much money they were making. Before then, you remember the number one overall team could negotiate the deal before they even drafted him because they knew that's who we getting. So they would already have the deal crafted. How many years and money and guarantees, all that would be done before the draft even happened. I miss those days. You know what I mean? Have a fool locked in. But hey, we'll see. We'll see what happens. I believe they're going to take Mendoza. But boy, if the Jets, and you know the Jets make a lot of bad decisions, if they offered 5 first-round picks, 5, not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, but 5 first-round picks in the next 2 drafts. That's a lot of first round. And coming from a team that you know those draft picks probably going to be very high. The Jet picks are going to be probably very high. You know what I mean? Because even if they get Mendoza, bro, we done seen Aaron Rodgers go there and fail. Mendoza is not Aaron Rodgers, even in Aaron Rodgers' twilight of his career. Now, we hope that he can develop into something like that, but he's not that. So, I mean, just to say, the Jets is like, hey, that's one of them places where if you hate your baby mama, you buy her a ticket to New Jersey and give her a Jets jersey and tell her good luck. Because I will never see you again. I would never see you again. Your ass will be out there with the Jets. J-E-T. Motherfuckers only good at spelling four-letter words. J-E-T-S. Jets. Anything over 4 letters, a New York Jet fan can't fucking spell. Period. They can't. They struggle spelling NFL. You know what I mean? N-P-H-L. No. P-H, that's not the right F. It makes the F sound, but it's not the F. They get tongue. They struggle over 4 words that's over 4 letters in it is hard for them. Jet fans is just, bro, I don't know what it is. I don't know what is it. The fool? Is it the braids? Shout out to Kendrick Lamar. I don't know. It's something, because hey, Jets is the only fucking thing that they can pass in the spelling bee. Can you they tell them spell Jets? Can you give me the definition? Can you give me the origin? They gotta ask every fucking question of that word Jets just to spell it. Can you front me the first? What's the first letter? There ain't no other motherfucking letter in the alphabet that make the J. G might sound like J. They G-E-T-S. Gets. You illiterate son of bitches. You feel me? Oh man, hey, let me give one out for that shit, man. That shit was hilarious. That motherfucking J instead of J-E-T-S, they going G-E-T-S. Gets. No. You don't spell it with a G. What the fuck is wrong with you? But it is what it is, man. Hey, the Jets is just a vast. It's just, I think the Jets were just a team just to fill out 32 teams. I know we got expansion teams, but they was just like, we could dissolve them, but just let them exist. We need somebody to laugh at. For real. What does the conversation look like between Spytek, Brady, and head coach candidates when it comes to drafting players this year, and who's picking what? Because they still gotta sell them on the job. My thing is deeper than just being on the surface like that. The conversation during interviews with Spytek and Brady with candidates, there's probably a vision that Spytek and Brady has, as far as what type of offense to run and what type of defense to run. And when you interview candidates to be head coaches, you're asking, okay, if you were to get the job, who would your coordinators be and why? Well, I would have an offensive coordinator that would be such and such. Why would you pick such and such? Because his philosophy on offense is this. Okay, that either does or does not fit what the Raiders want on offense. That's the whole thing. So the Raiders will probably tell the candidate, well, look, this is what we envision our offense. We want to be a run first, no turnover, you know what I mean, type of offense. Who would you get as offensive coordinator? He might have somebody that exactly fits that description as far as what we want on the offensive side of the ball. Okay, what about defense? We want to run a base 3-4, man coverage, you know what I mean? Or we can do a 5 or a 4-2 or 4, whatever base they want to run out of. Whatever they envision, 4-3-3, 4-4-2, 5-2, whatever. If that coordinator can come in and coach the defense to that, and if that's, I think it's better suited for a coordinator to have that ideology already. That's his pedigree. Oh, he's a 3-4 defensive coordinator, mine. And if we're trying to run a 3-4, then that would be suited for what we're trying to do. So the conversations is going to go deep like that. You know what I mean? If you got this offensive coordinator, who would be your quarterback coach? So I want to know, if we're drafting a rookie quarterback, what quarterback coach do you have in mind if you became coach that can come in and help develop Mendoza to be the greatest quarterback ever in the silver and black? You know, I'm just going extras with it because it's all Raiders on mine. But what quarterback coach do you have in mind that can groom him? Not groom. Let me get that. Drake got me all stuck. Because you got to be under 18 to be groomed by Drake. What quarterback coach do you have in mind that can come out here and develop him and being great? Don't name a name. Brady and them probably already know who that is. Brady done interviewed all these teams before games. That's why I said him doing what he does with the network is very important to what we're trying to do. He has information already. Spytech can't talk to other coaching staffs because that's tampering. Brady gets the leeway. Why? Because at first they banned him, but then they open up and say, okay, Brady can be in on the team meetings. Now, if they even said, Brady, you just can't interview him, well, shit, my counterpart that's going to be announcing the game with me, I just tell him the questions to ask, and he'll ask it then before we even go into the room. Okay, look, I can't ask them questions, but you can. These are the questions I need you to ask. Bam. And he's asking them. I'm still getting the answer. And they might be more freely to open up to my counterpart than they are to me, knowing I'm with the Raiders and they might be on the schedule this year. So, you know what I mean? It works in our favor. Don't try to kill that extra, you know what I mean, incentive that we got to go out there and be like, do some real good shit with the coaching staff. So that's how I see. Good question, though. That's a damn good question. But that's exactly how I see the conversations going in those interviews. You ask every question. You know what I mean? What do you bring? What do you know of the Raider way? I wait. And I want to know their knowledge. You know what I mean? Because you remember Al Davis was so knowledgeable of knowing all the players and their background, what high school they went to, what college, what records they set. And it was like players always said they were so impressed with Al Davis and his knowledge of their background in football. And I would be taken by surprise, like, damn, you knew the fact, you know, I used to jack off in a sock at 12? How did you know that shit? Nah, let me quit. But in the sock you could stand up, and then stand up on his own. It was so stiff. But Al Davis just knew everything about every player. So that's the same thing I expect from Brady and Spytech. Like Spytech, if you're gonna be on top of your game as the GM, you gotta know shit. You gotta know the players. You gotta know what they're good and what they can fit. Because if you're trying to build a defense and offense, you gotta know the pieces that can fit it to make it happen. You got to. You got to know what fits. So with that being said, man, I'm going to get my ass up out of here. What time is it? 4:02, man. We had a great show, man. Thank y'all for the great questions and hanging with your boy. I know I just be talking, but I be talking some real shit, though. Now you say there's no reason to trade your franchise QB. How do you know he's going to be a franchise QB? We're hoping, we're betting on potential. That's all you ever do with a draft pick. A draft pick, they don't. Mendoza never played in the NBA, I didn't say NBA, in the NFL before. How do we know he's going to be franchised? You got to take a swing. Like I said earlier, if you believe he's him, you take a swing on him, just like they believe Jamarcus Russell was, swung and miss. I'm just saying, Andrew Walters, the list goes on. Marcus Tuiasosopo, the list goes on. You know what I mean? But you can't be scared to swing, though. That's the whole thing. Don't be scared. If you believe this is the dude and he's gonna come in, see, everybody's excited over 2 games he had in college, the whole season. But it was the whole team effort, though. That's the one thing they're not telling you. Don't be fooled by fool's gold. It looks gold and shiny and sparkly, but it's not worth shit. We still got to get to the point of the combine and working him out in our own facility in Henderson. You got to know. Because that's how, to waste the number 1 overall pick, bruh, that's something we know that with Jamarcus. You waste the number 1 overall pick, bruh, it's all bad. It's all bad. There's no recouping from that. It's going to set you back some years. One fucking 15-minute decision can ruin you for 5 to 7 years. Jamarcus was 2007. When did we draft Carr? 2014. It took 7 years to get a decent quarterback, and he was a second rounder. It took 7 from missing out on Jamarcus. That's why I said you gotta be sure. You can't just be setting. This is I'm 60-50. Or if you can't even do 60-50. I'm 60-40. I don't know. You know what I mean? You can't be on the fence. You gotta go all in, or don't even fuck around and get on the dance floor. You feel me? You gotta leave it alone. But that's a good one too, though. If that's what you believe is your future, your franchise, you don't second guess it. My card is turned in once the clock started. The Raiders are on the clock. Oh, the Raiders got the pick in. As soon as he say the Raiders is on the clock, the pick is in already. Oh shit, Fernando Mendoza. You make that motherfucking choice. And don't let nobody on the outside of the organization tell you different. Oh, that's a bad, you don't take him. You eat a dick. You eat a dick. That's what you do. You go sit over there in the corner. I got some condiments for you. I got some mayo, some ketchup, and mustard and some relish, and you eat a dick. That's what you sit over there and eat a dick. Shut the fuck up. You're not a Raider. So with that being said, man, I'm going to get my ass up out of here, but we'll be back tomorrow. Same Raider time, same Raider channel, 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern. Let's see if we get some more intel and more news about what's going on with the coach. Nutty Raider Nate, my motherfucking guy, man. I ain't seen you in a minute, man. I hope all is well with you, my brother. Shit, I got it. Let me get one of these up for the man. Hey, Nutty Raider in the building.
There you go. There you go.
That's right, man. We up in here, man. But we talking that shit, and we you know what I mean? We gonna ride that shit, man. So with that being said, you guys enjoy your Wednesday, your hump day. Hey, I'm gonna be back Thursday. Tomorrow, we gonna get down with the get down again. Hopefully, we get some news as far as, is there more candidates to be head coaches? Is there other names floating that we overlooked? Could be. Possibility. We'll find out tomorrow, man, together. With that being said, man, like I say, without you, there's no me, and without us, there's no nation. There's only one nation, and that's the motherfucking Raider Nation. Y'all be blessed. Have a good one, and I'll see y'all tomorrow. And like I always say about this time, I'm out this bitch. I'm out.